In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.
Question everything.
Trust nothing.
It's your boys, Keeper and Crusader, and we have a special guest on this evening. We have Daniel from Crypto is Good. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me.
We are glad to have you here. Crypto fam, it's a Wednesday night. You already know what time it is. What If Wednesday. We brought Daniel on for a special edition. We're going to talk a little bit of, we're going to talk a little ICP. For those of you that don't follow Daniel on TikTok, make sure to follow him on TikTok, follow him on YouTube, follow him on Twitter. His links are down below the video. If you want to look at somebody that has a wealth of knowledge in the crypto space, this is your man. So I'm super excited to dive into some ICP and some Sam Bankman-Freid. Sam Bankman-Freid. Sorry, I mispronounced that there. So we will, we're going to have some fun with that tonight. Before we do, make sure that you guys smash the likes. If you are in mobile, you know what to do. X out, hit the like, come right back, and we will we'll get right back after it. Let's have some fun in the chat tonight. Without further ado, let's dive in. Let's take a look at the markets, and then Daniel, I want to kind of get your take on where we're at overall. We've had a little pump recently, so let me look at what's going on.
People are excited, bro. People are excited about this pump.
I know they are. I'm interested to see what your take on this is. Okay, so the global crypto market cap is at Miguelito.
We did it.
0.00 trillion with a T dollars. That's up 3.64%. We made it. Wag me. Bitcoin's at 20,815 and ETH. My girl, 1575. Look, that's up almost 8%. So ETH's been ripping. You look down through the top 10. Man, my XRP bags are only pumping by 1.7%. Not where I need them. And then Cardano doing absolutely nothing. Solana and then Dogecoin pumping about 15%. That's probably just because Elon was walking in the front doors of Twitter today, and people are thinking that maybe he's gonna, run Twitter via.
Not gonna lie, I thought he was walking in there with a toilet in his hand.
No, he had a sink in his hand.
He had a sink, but I thought it was a toilet from far away. I was like, this guy literally gonna take a toilet there just like to shit on all the Twitter staff that's there.
When you're
a
billionaire,
this guy's crazy.
You pick whichever toilet you want when you're a billionaire, bro. So Daniel, let me ask you, brother. So what are your thoughts on the market right now? Short term, long term, just kind of an overview where you kind of see things.
Dude, everything that goes down must go back up, right? And we've been going down a long time, and now we're going up for a little bit, but it's not a lot. It's not enough, and it's not changing the overall, situation, which is that we're in bear market, and we're gonna be in bear market. I want to say what a year and a half more.
I think so. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, that's about until the next Bitcoin halving. Yeah, about another year and a half.
And then if you're good at trading, you can trade these swings. Good for you. I'm not. If I try to trade these, I'm gonna lose my mortgage. But like I said, everything goes down, must go up, and then it goes down again, and it'll probably go down a lot sooner rather than later. Are you
in the camp? So a lot of the echo chamber that is the cryptocurrency influencer space right now is talking about seeing some pretty low numbers. Are you of that same thought? I will tell you the only reason that I am is simply because macro, like looking at the world, the issues that we have going on right now, the chaos that is the United States and the rest of the world. I see us having a huge opportunity at some really low prices. What are your thoughts on that?
Because everybody's saying that it's going to go down, I'm kind of feeling like it's just going to stay sideways for a long time.
I kind of thought you were going to say that. I kind of thought you were.
That's the only reason, though, because the macro is terrible, and I agree.
Yeah,
exactly. The macro is terrible, but we've been in it so long already. It's kind of priced in, right? Unless nukes start dropping, we're not going to go lower right now. There's nothing that could possibly happen that hasn't already been happening that our investors are aware of that would scare them to a capitulation event to 10K Bitcoin or something like that.
And as we've talked about before, if nukes do start dropping, obviously you need to be buying, because bottom line, you're either not going to need your money, right? Because you're going to be dead, or you're going to be buying some bottom of the barrel prices. I think either way, I guess maybe not either way, it's a win. But, if you don't,
high risk, high reward.
That's right. Real high risk, real high reward. Actually, no risk. There's no risk at that point. You're either dead or you're making big money.
You're fine.
That's the risk.
Might as well throw your money at it.
For sure.
The thing is that the 10K Bitcoin is it's not feasible, right? At that point, the entire market starts to break down. That means that the Bitcoin
The energy
miners
cost
are
is
no
more.
longer
Yep.
profitable.
Mhm.
10K Bitcoin is red alerts. We might lose all our money, and crypto might be dead.
I thought that. So I want to ask you. So first of all, I would love to hear from you just briefly, kind of how you got into crypto and what you're doing now. But before you tell me that, what I don't know, like I don't understand this. I know that there's obviously energy costs associated with mining, and there's a point at which the Bitcoin miners aren't making money. I know that that moves depending on the difficulty level, and so there's some different factors and variations. I think right now it's around 13 to 14K was the last time I checked. It was somewhere around there. Are you stating that if it dumped pretty hard down that low, they would literally physically be flat out losing money, or does that move a little bit with the price as well, or is it just strictly the energy cost versus what's happening to make it the mining occur?
The margins get smaller. The lower Bitcoin it gets. So
Okay.
right now the biggest Bitcoin. So the big secret is that Bitcoin is super centralized, right? Because Bitcoin is controlled by what, like 4 or 5 big mining companies. All of the Bitcoin is mined by those companies. People just sort of put their miners and pay through them, right?
Okay.
So the moment that you drop that to half the price, those big companies won't be able to make as much money. And I haven't done the hard math on this, so
Right.
please don't red alerts and start selling. But it does become a lot less profitable for them to be big companies. And yeah, we still have the average person in their backyard running miners. But how many of those are there, and how is that
Right.
feasible?
Yeah.
And what does that do to the network? Does it become slower?
Yeah. Make sure to smash the likes, guys. Let's have some fun. Again, follow Daniel from Crypto is Good. We've got his links down below the video. Real briefly, Addison wants to come in and remind everybody to be your own bank. Come here, baby. What are you doing? This is little Addison. She wants to remind you. We got a ledger link down below the video. Addison holds quite a bit of ETH, and she wants to remind you need to be your own bank. Don't let these centralized entities screw you out of your money. Mwah. I love you. All right, sorry.
So let's talk about ICP. That's what we came here for.
Let's do it. Well, no. Before we do, Daniel, talk to me just briefly. Tell us how you got into crypto and kind of what you do in the crypto space.
All right. So okay. So my first experience with crypto was actually looking at Bitcoin miners in like 2014, 2013. I did not do it. I am not rich. It did not work out. But I dream to have done it. And then later on, as everybody else, got into it, it got a little more popular. 2018, I started buying Ethereum. I started stacking a lot of Ethereum, 2018, and Bitcoin. And then I got really deep into it somewhere in 2019, 2020. And then I looked at the TikToks and I saw that there wasn't many influencers. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about whatever the hell I'm thinking about. And that's
when did you get into TikTok? When did you start your TikTok?
It's been about 2 years now. I feel like a year and a half, maybe.
Okay.
I never went hard. I never went as hard as I should have.
Yeah.
But I should take it more seriously.
So what are you doing now in the crypto space? Let's roll it into ICP. Tell me what you're doing now.
Right. So I was a Web 2 developer for many years, and then I took that experience and I quit my job in Web 2, and now I'm working as a contractor for Divinity, for the ICP, the nonprofit that controls ICP.
Okay.
And I help them out with whatever marketing operations they need. I usually do, I just built out a NFT minter for them. And it's helping people out with their operations in Asia. And I do a lot of community management. If you've seen me over in the Twitter, you know that I run my own governance named Neuron. There's a Crypto is Good one. That's me. And I'm there to make sure that everybody is sort of hanging out and happy in the community.
Interesting. Miguel, do you hold ICP, Miguel?
Yeah, I do hold ICP.
I
bought some on this recent massive drop in the summer.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you didn't buy it like $400, did you?
Oh no. Okay. I wasn't even looking at ICP at those prices. I was like, $400. These people are crazy.
It was crazy.
Take us back to that, Daniel. Talk to us. Miguel and I are really curious. There's a lot of there's a lot of speculation around the ICO that was the ICP drop, right? Take us back to that. What does that look like? Just kind of take me through that drop and why there's so much chaos and speculation around that drop. Because there's going to be people in here that don't even know what happened.
So if you look at the graph for ICP, right? Well, let's start there. If you look at the graph for ICP, the one that everyone looks at, it started at what, $2,000, right? And everybody's freaking out. And I think the FTX one started at $5,000. Insane. Okay. If you look at the other graph, the one that's perpetual contracts in FTX, it actually started at $80. Okay. And nobody looks at that perpetual contracts graph. ICP was supposed to start at $80, but FTX knowing that Coinbase was going to release the token in 4 days and Binance was going to release the token in 4 days, they released futures contracts so that all the users from FTX could buy futures contracts on the ICP token before it got the Coinbase pump. So that means that the FTX future traders doing 100x whatever pumped that up all the way to $500-$600, and then the news was like, oh, ICP is the first coin to ever release in the top 10, top 3. It should have never been there, right? There was no ecosystem. Half of the features weren't out yet. The reason that these layer ones are in the top 10 is because they have this passive demand because people want to use their ecosystem. Okay. Ethereum has a passive demand. In order for me to buy NFTs, I need to buy Ethereum first and then buy the NFT. ICP didn't have that. They didn't have an ecosystem yet. So obviously, it went up to the $5,000 that we all saw. And then everybody that knew that was, they started shorting it. And then that's when you see some shadier stuff. So there was this company called Arkham Reports or Arkham Intelligence. You can see their Twitter, and they've done one report. Actually, they've done 2 now, but one report at the time. The only report they ever did. And in that report, they blamed the seed investors. They blamed the Divinity Foundation for crashing the price. And that one report from this company that has never ever been picked up or never done anything. It's just one report, one company with 3 guys in it, gets picked up by the New York Times. So the New York Times picks up this report and spreads it out and crashes the price even more. And then influencers pick up on it, and everyone jumps on the hate train.
Yeah, and then things just start snowballing out of control at that point, right? And then you start seeing the price going down, and then people start shorting even more, and then
it did happen fast. It did happen fast, Miguel. It literally looked like it just absolutely the bottom. I remember.
But you know what else it looked like? It looked like Bitcoin in 2017 when the futures contracts opened, and it just went straight down. So my question is, Daniel, do you think that these institutions, these exchanges, use futures trading to heavily manipulate the price downward or upward in whatever direction they want? And that's the purpose of everything is futures contracts. There's nothing that's actually spot ETFs, nothing. Everything is futures. Do you think that's the reason?
Everything is futures. 100%. I mean, FTX, what? Okay. So Sam owns FTX and Alameda Research, right? So that means he owns the exchange that does futures contracts. That means he gets the insider information of when coins come in. That means that he knows what projects are good. He knows what projects are his competition before they're even out. So what stops Sam from seeing a project that's better than his big investment? ICP is better than Solana, and we can discuss that if we want to, but in my opinion, it's much faster. I don't know that that's
a discussion. I agree with that.
Better than Solana.
They just got to stay running, and already they've got Solana beat. So yeah, I hear you.
but they couldn't have that competition. They couldn't let that happen. So it's really easy to do that, and then make some money with Alameda Research. Use Alameda Research to pump up the price with their literal 100. I don't know how much money they have, but they're a lot of money that they have. Pump it up, and then they pump it, they destroy it, and they make a crap load of money in the way.
And right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Legally, theoretically, he's done nothing wrong, right? Because there's no regulations that really come into play that says you can't do that. Now, when we talk about this and you say it out loud, it sounds shady and it sounds absolutely like, nah, like really? But yeah, really. And
But even if there was regulation, I mean, he's lined the correct pockets to make sure that he can stay under the radar and out of trouble.
I mean, the fact that he can invest in the coins that he lists. I mean, come on, man. Like,
How wild is that?
you basically
And there's
have
talks now that he wants
the
to buy
playbook.
Coinbase.
Yeah.
Oh, and dude, I mean, ultimately, he has to be the chosen one at this point because the things that they're almost saying, you know what, ominous dominus, we are blessing you, the crypto god, as long as you continue to play ball the way we want you to play ball, which, you know, we're starting to see what he's doing. He's starting to say, well, you know, if you're not an accredited investor, you're not smart. I mean, obviously, he's not saying it this way, but this is what he's saying. You're not smart enough to make these investments. Okay. We need to protect you. And it should just be accredited investors getting involved in crypto. When the reality of the situation, as I look at it, is there's a lot of people that miss the boat. And when I say people, I actually mean institutions. And these institutions are saying, wait a minute, we are not going to let all of these freaking plebs get in front of us as it relates to their average entry point on some of these cryptocurrency projects. There's not a chance in hell we're letting that happen. So how do we fight back? And someone like Sam Bankman-Fried, you're right, Daniel. I never even thought about what you said. And I think that's a really important idea. He sees the back end before it even gets out there. So he gets to look at it and say, okay. And plus he's got a ton of people that are doing research that have all of this. You know, he's got a team of however many people saying, this is what you need to be looking at. This is what you need to be looking at. Man, so it's not a crazy idea then that you see on Reddit, that we saw in a lot of different places. It's not, I'm not asking you to say whether it's true, false, whatever, but it's not that crazy of an idea to say that Sam Bankman-Fried, who, correct me if I'm wrong, owns Solana or a large stake in Solana, correct?
I don't think he would take that risk, but he certainly controls a very large stake. Alameda Research controls a large stake of Solana, but for all we know, they sold it already. You know, they moved to Aptos. We don't even know, right? And that's why it crashed. Maybe that's why it's crashed.
Yeah. So what do you see is crashing too?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the whole.
So so for the people that are in the chat, and I'll actually say this myself too. Educate me a little bit on ICP, because it is a project that I have heard so much about, but candidly, I don't know a lot about it. So can you educate me a little bit on ICP? What does it do? What ultimately is it trying to change in the crypto space?
And how is it better than XRP? I really want to hear that.
You had to go there. It never stops with this guy. Okay, yeah, we'll hear that too.
I wouldn't say it's better because,
see, I told you I like this guy, Miguel. See,
he's just trying to be nice, but we all know where it's headed.
Let's start with ICP and we'll move on, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about Ethereum first. Ethereum is a smart contract engine. You've used it.
Yep.
When you interact with Ethereum, all you're doing is moving coins. It goes and the coin moves around in the farm or inside of the NFT, and it comes back to you, right?
Okay.
The big thing there is that not as much data can be stored on the Ethereum blockchain because it's really expensive, right? Gas prices. So they invented Filecoin or Arweave, right? So then we can store the big files in Filecoin or Arweave, and then we can transact the business logic inside of Ethereum. But as we know, it's still really expensive. It's still really expensive. And even with Ethereum 2, even when Ethereum 2 is actually scalable, it's still going to be expensive. It's never going to be able to scale to the rest of the world.
Okay.
So the solution to that they brought was like something like AVAX, right? So Avalanche gives us the ability to create, or Polygon, AVAX, Polygon, Cosmos Atom, all of them are doing this. What they do is they create a bunch of different blockchains. They're not connected, but essentially the idea is that if I'm Chase Bank, I would create my own blockchain inside of Polygon or inside of what's called Cosmos Atom. And then that's it. But that doesn't really solve anything, because as a user, now I need to go through these bridges that keep getting hacked, and I need to like connect to different blockchains. And the thing, like you've used it in MetaMask, right? You connect to different ones, and it really sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, they still have not solved the fact that you can't do files. You still have to use Filecoin. All right. And then we got Solana. Solana doesn't solve anything either. It's just really fast. We still can't sort files. ICP solves all of those issues. So if you look at the internals of ICP right now, they have this thing called subnets. Every single one of those subnets is a different blockchain, and you wouldn't even know it because when you go through the ICP blockchain, you don't have to connect to a different blockchain, right? So they've created and invented, and they have a bunch of different patents, the way for you to connect to a bunch of different blockchains without having to go out of the blockchain. And the cool thing about that is that they can connect to their own blockchains, but they can also connect to other blockchains. And that's why they're going to be able to integrate directly with Bitcoin. So if you have Bitcoin from the Bitcoin blockchain, you'd be able to put it inside of your ICP wallet. And then because they're able to, again, connect to different blockchains, they've created their own version of like Filecoin. So they have their own internal file system. So now, because they have all that, why not just serve websites directly from the ICP network?
Is that the overarching theme, the connectivity between the different blockchains with ICP?
Yeah, that's the main selling point. So the big selling point for it is that they want to call it the master blockchain. So you'd be able to have your ICP wallet and have it connect to Ethereum and to Bitcoin and to XRP, right? All three of them in one place. And then you have your ICP smart contract that does transactions from Ethereum to XRP to Bitcoin.
In one, but in one place. I mean, that transaction would be, to me, if I didn't know any better and I wasn't on chain looking at what was happening, it would feel as if a single transaction coming via ICP, or am I still having to do am I still having to make multiple different moves?
No, that's the whole point of it. And that's actually where it gets in trouble. The whole point of it is that you can't tell that you're on the blockchain. They've even been able to integrate Google into it. So like there's this forum called Discover, DSCVR, and you can log in with Google, and it's not actually logging in with Google. Like Google doesn't get any of your data, but you can log in with Google, and then you get your wallet, and that's it. And it seems like it's centralized, but it's decentralized because it's able to do those connections without breaking immutability, which is the whole blockchain thing. But it still has a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
Like all blockchain is still in the early stages. And let's talk about XRP.
Let's get it.
No, I was just having a conversation with an XRP developer, and I just want to say that the main strength of XRP is the fact that Ripple has created all of the business connections, and they've already created all of the business infrastructure to do cross-border payments and money payments. Nobody else is building that. Nobody else cares to build that. It's not.
Let me pause you real quick, because I've been begging to somebody that knows this better than me to answer this for me. You got to tell Crusader why XRP and not, because the argument that you're going to get from Mr. Crusader over here is like, well, Bitcoin can do that, and like all these other different chains can do that. Like, why XRP? Like, why we gotta have this centralized bankers coin to make these remittances happen? Tell me why.
Nobody else cares to develop that. That's nobody else wants to do that.
There you go, Keeper. You got your answer.
Nobody else wants to do that. It's a really big narrative, and XRP already built a lot of it. Nobody else wants to compete with them because you have to make all those. They've been in it for what, 10 years? 15 years?
Yeah, just right after. I mean, really right after Bitcoin. Not too long after Bitcoin.
Yeah, they've been selling their souls to the centralized banking system for the debt slavery for a long time. So I agree. Nobody else wants to get in that trade.
Nobody else wants to do it, and they're going to do great. They'll have a really big market cap someday.
They'll have their day in the sun. They're gonna have their day
Exactly.
in the sun for sure.
But nobody else
In
wants to
the
do that.
underworld.
Nobody else cares.
So then, okay. So the as we talk about XRP, you said you started to talk to. You said it was an XRP developer yesterday.
Yeah.
What was why randomly are you talking to an XRP developer? What were you guys like? What's that?
He's
What's
my
going on?
buddy. He's an ICP developer that used to work for XRP. We were talking
Okay.
about how at some point he decided to I don't know. I shouldn't say because it's his story about how he broke the rules in the XRP ledger. But
Right.
yeah, no. When you talk to developers, you'll realize that all of them have worked for like every blockchain, and they know a lot more than we know. The developers, man, and
Undoubtedly.
they don't really care to share with us because it's their knowledge. It is what it is.
And it's their knowledge on which they probably ultimately have been able to not only make money working for them, but probably make decisions that have allowed them to either hold or sell, knowing some of that other information.
Exactly.
like it.
There's no need. There's no need for share.
I like it.
So what does ICP? So my other question is, how does ICP really stick out from the XRP technology? From you mentioned the storage, you mentioned like being able to host like static websites and stuff like that. So what else does it do that really like stands out that people don't know? Because I'm even seeing the chat here. Some people still don't see like, so what's so spectacular about it? Like they still don't see what really makes ICP different.
I mean, okay, so Discover, it's Reddit, right? Discover is a fully on-chain Reddit, fully on ICP. There is no Filecoin there. There's nothing else. It's a
So it is
full
blockchain file storage. I mean, just to the max.
Everything.
Everything is there. It's stored on
Absolutely
chain.
everything.
It's all there.
So if Uniswap is hosted on an AWS, right, and they recently had issues with right, they like took some coins away in different regions or something like that with censorship.
I actually didn't catch that, but I would never doubt anything to do with censorship in the world we live in today. I believe it. It's probably happened for sure.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago. I don't even remember. And it was a big thing because ICP has its own Uniswap hosted on ICP, and people were like, "Come and use this one." Nobody's using it, right? Nobody cares. but it's there. It exists.
So where do you see ICP going? Like in the next cycle, do you see the technology continuously like blasting past the other technology that already exists, and that will make people finally realize like, hey, there's actual value here in the ecosystem they're building? Or like how are they going to move forward and compete with the other blockchains?
I think ICP will have its day next bull market when developers realize how much easier it is to do things, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they would move to ICP. Like for example, ICP has the ability to do HTTP requests, and I know that doesn't mean much to a lot of people.
Yeah, I was going to say to expand on that. I heard you say that on a TikTok, and when I heard you say it, I was like, man, I'm feeling even more stupid than I was when I woke up this morning. Okay, why does that matter? Talk to me about that.
That's how the internet works.
Yeah, so Ethereum, right? You have a smart contract on your Ethereum, and in the smart contract, in your transaction, you need to get the price of oil for some reason.
Okay.
And on Ethereum, you have to reach out to an oracle, and the oracle has to have an entire decentralized infrastructure called Chainlink.
So
right?
Chainlink, yeah.
And that's
okay.
like another multi-billion-dollar project. Right. ICP doesn't need that. ICP, you can just call for the price of oil from OPEC. So you just don't need to spend money on that. And that is actual money for the developer. They have to pay Chainlink, right? And that's gas prices. So
wow.
It'll be a lot easier for developers to just write a smart contract on ICP, get the price for OPEC, and push that on Ethereum, and that'll be essentially free for them. So I think that's where ICP is going to get its day, and it's going to be slow roll from there, right? You find the small use cases, and then they're like, oh, and looks like I can also host my website on here. I don't need to have an AWS account. Oh, I could just do that. And it's a slow roll as developers realize how much easier it is, and they'll use it. That's what I think is going to happen.
So, okay. So we see in the crypto space right now, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. First of all, if y'all are not checking out Frankie Candles, make sure that you're checking them out for the TA Love Monday through Friday, 5:45 to 7:30. That is our boy, friend of the channel. Make sure you check him out. And then tomorrow, Thursday night, as always, TA Thursday around the charts. If you want to get that TA, scratch that little TA itch, make sure you guys are here. And we are here Monday through Saturday at 7:30. So smash the likes. We got 60 people in here. Guys, real quick before we move on to the next section here. Danger Close Alpha, just as a reminder, we're giving somebody the opportunity to win 5 ETH, not 0.5 ETH, not 0.05 ETH, not 2.5 ETH, 5 freaking ETH. That's like $7,700 right now with the price. Somebody is going to take the opportunity to win that. Is it going to be you? I don't know. Get into the Discord, Danger Close Alpha. You can go to the website, dangerclosealpha.com, click the little Discord link. Guys, ultimately, I'm telling you, it's going to be fun, and somebody's going to win, and somebody's going to look back and say, man, I'm really glad I did that. So check it out. We can dive further into it in the Discord. Okay, so moving forward, Daniel, in the crypto space, and I hear you talk about this on TikTok, I have always, and we see it a lot right now in the bear market too, people aren't wanting to really spend money on marketing, but the companies that are stand out to me, right? And a lot of people don't recognize it for what it is. But I heard you talk about this recently, and I had been talking about this prior to hearing you say this, but Quant, for example, okay? All of a sudden, we're in a bear market, nothing's happening, and you've got Quant absolutely ripping. But if you look for any information that's actually happening with Quant, you don't find anything. And so you're like, well, that's interesting. And it's kind of like some of these NFT projects. You're like, that project doesn't even do it. And you start to try to put the puzzle pieces together, and the only conclusion you can come to is marketing. So my question is this: is ICP going to be, or currently are they marketing what they have? Because that's been a huge thing in the crypto space. And I'm not saying that it's good or bad. I'm just saying that prices, because so many people, and again, we're not financial advisors, so we're here for entertainment purposes, but so many people follow these projects for purely one reason: they want to make money. Like, they can hear you intelligently talk about it and like, oh, that's freaking cool, but the bottom line is they're like, hey, Daniel, can I make some freaking money with this thing or what, bro? Because that's really all I want to know. So my question is ICP planning on or actively doing any sort of marketing?
Yeah, I can't speak for them, right? But from my understanding, from what I've seen, from what I can look at, their marketing is pretty much right now targeted at developers and developer conferences. So they recently went to a developer conference in East Asia, and they spend a lot of time in Asia as well, because I don't know if the audience here knows this, but most of crypto is actually in Asia. Most of the money in crypto comes from Asia, in the Middle East. So and Divinity is a company in Europe, so I guess it's easier for them to move over there. So most of their marketing right now is in
a different language,
in getting developers, and I think that's smart, because it's a very different tactic to hold something like Quant, right? Like, Quant isn't, at least as far as I know, maybe you guys can correct me, or somebody in the chat room. As far as I understand it, Quant is not an ecosystem. I, as a developer, am not going to write smart contracts for Quant, or I'm not going to write an NFT exchange for Quant. Right. So for them, it makes sense to market the hell out of it 24/7. No one needs to build anything, and no one needs to be on there. We just need the price to go up. But for companies like Near, like all the layer ones, right? Like ICP and HBAR and all of these, it's hard for them to market right now, because so they'll market people into the ecosystem, and then they come in and all the coins are in the dumpster.
Yeah.
So
you're saying they're taking their efforts and pushing it towards developers so that they can actually do what needs to happen, which is grow during this downtime as it relates to dollars and cents, what the actual charts look like.
Exactly. That's what needs to happen, right? That's the correct way. Like, marketing is important for any business, right? Whatever business doesn't do marketing isn't really going to succeed, unless you can have those exceptions, right? Those one-offs that it just blows up from nowhere. But normally everything needs marketing. But the difference is there's a lot of cryptos that do nothing but marketing, and they're just making you empty promises and just bringing you in here into the trap, versus other projects. they don't focus on marketing. They develop their technology. They let people start learning about the technology, bringing developers on, developing an ecosystem. And then at some point, whether it's in the middle of the bull run or whatever, then they focus on marketing, right? Because they've already developed something. It's like, hey, now we can get to bring people in here. You don't want to start inviting people and telling people, hey, let's go to Disney World before Disney World is built. And when they show up there, it's just a forest with like two guards standing in the front asking you for money, right? You want to develop Disney World into what it is and then say, hey, come on and check out what we built over here. And then people are like, oh, snap. So like, if you build it, they will come. That statement, I believe, is true.
Yeah, that's the general consensus from my understanding, and I think that's important. Also, like if you're looking to trade on the daily, the layer ones are probably not going to be your friend right now. Because they're not, none of them are doing marketing, if you notice, except for Algorand, which did the whole World Cup thing. But I kind of think that they did that in advance, and now they're stuck doing it because
they got in, and now it's hard to back out because
they can't back out anymore.
They don't want to reach back. Real quick, shout out to Crypto Weatherman in the chat. What's up, brother? Guys, everybody go and blow up. I don't care which one of his socials, but go ahead and spam Crypto Weatherman's. I don't care. Let's go with his TikTok or his YouTube. Either way, spam him and let him know. Around the Charts is on Thursday evening, Tim. Okay. Starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We need to get you on here, brother. We got lots of TA minds jumping in here. And just go ahead and spam Crypto Weatherman. Tell him Around the Charts, Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We want to get you on here, brother. What we got to say, Miguel? I didn't mean to cut you off.
And about Crypto Weatherman, I see he's saying HBAR's marketing is abysmal. And I think it's for the exact same reason. There's nothing going on at that Disney World either. It's empty, right? Nobody's coding. They don't need to do that marketing right now.
Yeah. What is what does your outlook on? So we've figured out what ICP does. We figured out that it makes things much more simple. It takes a whole lot of different processes and kind of balls it all up into one. Do you have a particular? Everybody hates doing price predictions. Let me ask it this way, right? Because I don't want Thursdays. I don't want to pin
$10,000 per coin.
I'm not going to pin you. 10,000. That's right. We're going just like XRP, baby.
People believe that, bro. People will believe that.
Moonshot. That's the only way.
That's the best marketing there is. Just say you're ISO compliant, and that's it. You're off to the races.
Well, let me ask it this way: what do you believe that? And we can look 2030 and beyond. Was $400 in your estimation? Was that a wild estimation? Because basically that higher number was for brief, few seconds, whatever. Is $400 a wild valuation for ICP within the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years?
No. I don't think so at all. Realistically speaking, if ICP reaches its promises, if ICP becomes what the marketing says it will be, the internet, right? A decentralized internet, then no, because every developer would need to buy the coin to develop on ICP. Okay. So it's not wild, but just like any other crypto investment, it's speculative.
I haven't looked at the tokenomics on ICP. Let me see here. I'm looking real quick. So the token circulating supply, 268,906,370. Max supply being 488 million. Do they hold something in escrow, or how is I don't know anything as it relates to the mining efforts? Is this proof of stake? Is this proof of work? What is this?
It's its own thing. So ICP is controlled by something called the NNS. The NNS is a DAO. Okay. So Divinity holds most of the ICP by a lot, but they have it locked up in the NNS for 8 years, and they can't.
NNS.
Yeah, it's called the neural nervous system. It's the NNS. I don't tell you exactly what it stands for, but yeah, it's just a giant. It's a giant DAO, and any token holder can go on there and they can lock up their coins, and then they get voting power. And you'll see proposals like recently they changed the tokenomics so that we get more money, and then they changed it so that we get a little less money. And it's a DAO. It's pretty cool. Internet Computers Network Nervous System. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't operate the same way as other projects that we're used to in the past as it relates to proof of work, proof of stake.
So it's because of their whole philosophy, right? So if you look at Aptos and you look at their documentation, they're decentralized, but in their documentation, they encourage everybody to host their nodes on AWS. And it's the same thing with Ethereum, and it's I think it's the same thing with Solana.
They encourage that not because they're in business with Amazon, but because AWS basically runs the internet, or is there a business transaction happening there?
Bruh.
No, they encourage it because it's faster. It's faster, or whatever. I mean, we can speculate anything, right? But yeah, they encourage it. They encourage that. So what does that mean? Does that mean that it's centralized? Is that the question, right? So their philosophy is no, we're not going to do that crap. We would rather talk to independent server providers, and they get paid an ICP to run the ICP node. But then they were like, well, then how are people going to mine it? This can't be proof of stake. So then the DAO was created so that we as holders get to choose who will be the next provider or no provider, or what gets installed, and we end up making all the decisions through that.
So when I buy, am I ultimately just buying from what we could look at as a bank of, wherever I buy it from, that particular exchange is just holding a large bank of ICP, and they are taking on some of that liability as it relates to the tokens? They're just holding a whole bunch of ICP. I mean, is that a fair statement, or where's it coming from? When do they get released into circulation? When do they hold? Like, do you know any of the specifics on that?
They have a bag of ICP. Every exchange has a bag of ICP. The inflation, because every layer one has inflation.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, comes from the rewards. So you lock up your coins on the NNS and you get rewards. Okay, and that's where the inflation comes from. And it's something like 6% a year, 7% a year, and that can change. Change.
That's very
wow.
I mean, that's not terrible by the standards that we're running right now in the real world with the inflation we got. So 6% doesn't sound that bad.
I'm about to say that sounded good. That sounded good right now, for sure.
You mentioned Aptos here a few times. Can you explain for the people, right? Because I feel like there was a lot of like craziness that happened with Aptos. It came out of nowhere. People were like, "Hey, this thing's gonna be crazy, huge. Get into it," and then things went sideways. Can you explain to the people what was going on there? Where did this thing come from, and why were so many people talking about it?
It's built out of Facebook. It was built out of the remains of the Facebook blockchain, which the name escapes me right now.
Libra, was it Libra?
Libra, but it had another name after that. But
it had another name. I think it was like something with a D, like
DM, Carpe Diem.
Diem, yes,
Diem.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, it came out of that. So everybody knew that it was good because it was a Facebook product. So it was well connected with venture capitalists. So they're speculating that they have over $1 billion in cash from VCs. So obviously people are going to buy it, right? But tech wise, I'm not impressed. I don't get it. I don't know, man. This doesn't seem like it's good. I think my developer friend was telling me it costs like $5 per 2 kilobytes or something like that, and that could be misinformation. Don't quote me. But it's really expensive. It's not. I don't get it. It's the same reason I never understood Solana. I bought it and I sold it and I made a bunch of money, but I still don't understand it.
Good for you for selling, bro. One of my buddies, unfortunately, God rest his soul. Well, no, he's not dead, but I feel bad for him. Right? He probably felt dead after, and I feel bad for him. I don't think he's in here, but I'm not going to dime him out. But if you're on here, brother, I'm still praying for you. He literally had his down payment money for his home in Solana and asked me about it. And I told him, in fairness, I said, first of all, man, I would never suggest that for crypto, period. Right? Just flat out, period. Anything. These markets are so wild. I would never suggest that. But that being said, I just, man, you bought in at like 150 or $200. I understand that there was some great price action, but that to me still seems like bull market activity. And those numbers, I just got to tell you, like, I don't know how long they're going to stay like that. He held, and I'll never forget the phone call I got. Like, man, what did I do? And I was like, oh man, you know what I mean? You just, you can only you can only lead, to water, but you can't make somebody drink. Just side note, super chat, Billy, thank you very much. Said flat smack the like button, and if that's too tough for you, lightly tap it, and remember, thank you very much, Billy. We love you, brother. Glad that you're here. So yeah, I think a lot of people, besides venture capitalists, besides apparently Daniel, lost money on Solana because it definitely took a beating, and a lot of people thought that it was going to be something that I personally don't think that it's ever going to be. So
it was right about the top when I started to say that Solana's a piece of crap. if you go back to my videos, it was right about the top that I was telling everybody Solana's a piece of crap.
I like it. Crypto fam, listen, you could be anywhere on a Wednesday night, but you are here with us, with Daniel from Crypto is Good. Go follow him. We've got his Twitter link down below. We've got his YouTube link down below. If you don't follow him on TikTok, I don't think I have his TikTok linked, but follow him on TikTok. Crypto is Good. We really appreciate you coming on, Daniel. Is there anything you have going on right now that you want to make the people aware before we step off here?
Sure, I'm gonna be if we're sharing. I'm gonna be creating a crypto DAO soon. Actually, probably within the next week or two. It's gonna be the first, hopefully the first big meme coin. There has been meme coins before, but I'm hoping that this is the first big one on ICP. And the idea of it is that,
but it's your project.
My project. I'm the developer.
Okay.
Me and another developers, 2 developers in the team. But the idea of it is that a percentage of the transactions go into a treasury, and then we use that treasury to help out the ecosystem and help developers create what they need to do. So if you follow me on Twitter, there'll be more updates for that, and I would love that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Make sure to follow him on Twitter. You guys can get the updates, get the skinny on that. We're going to hold him hostage after the show here so we can get the inside scoop. But y'all, sorry about that. We're not going to be able to give that all out on the live stream. So just remember, question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon.
See you guys.